Is mono compatibility still a thing, and will AI steal my job? Let's find out.
Hi everybody, welcome to Tidalwave Afterwork, the music production podcast where Marc and myself are going to answer your questions. So let's dive in.
First question for today comes from somebody called Jenga.
Hey Jenga.
Hey, what's up? You talked about the use of reference tracks quite a bit. I wanted to ask you if you ever mix in mono as another point of reference. If you do so, is it just to change your perspective, or do you actually care about mono compatibility of your production? Thanks.
I never mix in mono.
Me neither.
I really don't care. Even every iPhone is stereo now.
Yeah.
The only times when I may think about mono is when I am using some kind of spreader. If I have like a mono signal and I feel like using the Haas effect, for example, where you put like a delay of, 20, 30 milliseconds on one side so that it's going to sound wider, then I'm going to switch to mono on my monitor controller just to see what is happening to the sound. Is it going to disappear if I engage or disengage such a widener plugin?
Yeah. That makes sense.
This is the thing. Usually nobody is going to listen in mono, but I learned something that if you listen to radio in your car and your signal reception is getting too low, that the signal is going to switch to mono first, maybe to capture something at all.
Okay, so there's like some threshold or something at which it basically collapses to mono. So
this is what I heard. I'm not completely sure, but apparently that is or was a thing. So, but okay, how often is that really going to happen?
Yeah, not really, especially today.
I remember when I was a kid, like 12, 13 or something, we used to have Walkmans with cassette players, and then
I used them as well.
And then we shared headphones.
Yeah.
So it was like one had the player, and then was like I had one earbud, and my buddy would have the other earbuddy. And so then, of course, if you only have like half the music, that sucks a little bit. But yeah, it's 2025. It's stereo.
Yeah.
One thing that you could have an eye on is if your music is supposed to be played in clubs.
Yes.
Or maybe if some elements are going to be used live as backing track or something,
sure.
Maybe there a too wide spread or something is going to be counterproductive. But if we just talk about music that is going to be consumed on headphones or speakers, or even listening on the speakers of your phone, I really don't care.
Yeah, I mean, if I now listen to music on the MacBook, it's crazy how wide it sounds.
I think it has four speakers.
Yeah, you really have like an image. You can like pan stuff around, and it really, with these speakers, feels really good. So I don't see the point.
So it can't hurt if it's working well in mono, but I wouldn't be completely obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jenga, thanks.
Enjoy mixing in stereo. Okay, next question is from Bernd Schirmer.
Bernd,
Hi Bernd. What do you think the future of music production will look like in the next 10 to 20 years, especially with emerging technologies like AI? Is AI going to steal your job, do your job, help your job? What do you think?
Help my job. I think at best it's going to help our job. I mean, this is a big subject in like many fields right now, obviously. If I think about AI in our job, I like to think about cool ways that maybe new plugins can do things that we weren't able to do before. The whole more like creative side and all the tiny little decisions that I make when I'm, for example, mixing a song. There's nothing that scares me about AI, because the I mean, AI might be crazy fast and databases are larger than all that I know, but I would argue I would really heavily argue that my mind and my way of thinking about stuff and creativity is so much more complex that I'm not really scared by anything AI will do in our field, because there's always going to be musicians, there's always going to be artists, there's always going to be people who want to express themselves. So if you want to express yourself as a musician, I think it's very clear that, talking about myself, if I would want to express myself musically and I would then need somebody else to finish the job in terms of mixing, for example, if this would be like a very personal creative thing that I started doing, I would want to have another human being helping me out finish this very important personal thing and not a machine.
Yeah.
I'm not really scared.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, me neither. It's a couple points that you mentioned is, from the artist perspective, if you want to create art, you create art. And if AI is also creating art, let it do it. If it's a computer or another person doing something, why worry about this? If you think about royalties being shared between humans and people owning computers, that's another thing. But now just looking at our craft, like recording, engineering, mixing, if a band comes to the studio and they want to record, they need a human being there. They don't want a computer to do this stuff. And as you said, in mixing, sometimes while I'm mixing, I'm laughing I'm laughing inside myself, because I think, how would a computer ever know all these little things that I'm obsessed with doing while I'm mixing? Like, there's an incredibly ridiculous amount of tiny details that we, as art creating mixers, do on every job we do, that I have a hard time imagining that any computer would have like a sense of so many things that you just cannot easily measure with and put a number to it. The computer will work with numbers and with something that you can measure, but good luck measuring emotion. And I have heard songs that have been entirely made by AI, and it was crazy how good it is.
Yeah.
But then you listen to it, and then it just feels like it's like AI images. At first glance, they are like, oh, wow. Oh, look at this nice wooden cabin with blah, blah, blah. And then at first it's like, oh, that's really beautiful. And then you look at it and it's like, but something is fishy. And then you look at, oh, there is a stair going from the wall into the ceiling.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And then there is a guy with 6 fingers on his hand. And this is, obviously that's going to get better somehow.
Yeah.
But it's always going to feel fishy somehow, and just, I don't know, it just lacking something.
Yeah, I was also just thinking that also AI, I mean, I'm not an expert, but to my understanding, AI usually looks at a set of rules and data that it is fed, and then it can, same as we humans do, we can recombine and recreate something out of the information that we have, but it won't step out of its, way and do something somebody has never done before, because it's not within the rule set. If you decide to make like a crazy loud snare bomb in your chorus in the mix, that is an emotional thing. It's not about if this is right or wrong or how you do it. It's about that you or I as a human being sit there, listen to and be like, wait a minute, you have, it's just creativity and emotion strikes you and you're like, I could do this thing that within the rules of mixing is not really a thing. It's outside of those rules. One last thing that I also would like to add, because the question was also about like the future of like the music, I don't know, scene or industries. I would really hope, that's another thing, talking about the creative part, because there's also AI writing music or writing songs. I would really, really hope and have like the faith in us as human beings that the creation of AI music will get so generic at some point that it's going to be so boring. You know, the more AI will create music, I think the more streamlined and generic it will become. That's my guess. So hopefully there will be like with a lot of trends with like clothes, with music, with whatever, there might be a new trend of people wanting more personalized stuff.
You can already see this with AI images.
Yeah.
You open up Facebook or something and it's like the picture of this beautiful new kitchen or whatever, and then it's like you open up the comment section, it's like AI, fake AI.
Yeah.
People are already fed up now.
Yeah.
It's getting better and better, and it's really amazing what it can do. But I have the feeling most of the people they just are not interested in that. And then especially
it's like a quick burn. It's like really exciting, but also boring.
And especially in our field where we are dealing with like very emotional things going on. So like a singer is singing and standing literally emotionally naked in front of the microphone, and they want somebody to take care of it and want a human to work on it. You as an artist, you want human interaction and you want collaboration and you want exchange, and there is no such thing with the machine. Not when creating art and when we are doing what we are doing now. And I don't see this is going to change drastically in the next 10 or 20 years. I don't feel so. I really don't hope so.
Yeah.
Let's close it with we hope that we are I hope that we are right with what we think today.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it in 2035 again and see how it will have been.
Yeah.
Was a good question.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Thanks. This was already the last question. If you like this or think that friends of you may enjoy or benefit from any of our output here, go and recommend it or subscribe and share it and whatever.
And send us
a question. Means a lot to us. Thank you.
Thanks. See you next week. Bye-bye.